frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Ready. Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady. To the letter right. Turn it up. We giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Gentlemen. When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, the pass to your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin. Subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We install doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the crown. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. We're leaving the kings of all crowns. So are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady. To the letter right. Turn it up, y'all keep the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Ready, set, steady, back. Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all keep the flow. Are you ready? Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady. To the letter right. Turn it up.
Coach, the Carolina Rains have arrived as we are inside a soggy Bank of America stadium in
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog. This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People want to know when Mace, Posse, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, and head, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Ready. Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady. To the letter right. Turn it up. We giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Gentlemen. When it was time to get it lit, we got it.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Uptown Charlotte and rain-soaked Bank of America Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Ready up.
Mike's by four. Mike's by four. Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
Go. It's fine.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards, first down, Panthers.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it's going to be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Panther first down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Hey, Zoo.
Here's Stick on first and 10. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
After the sack, here's second and 11.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Snap.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
That's what I do.
Ready?
On third down, it's Stick. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Check 56. Let's go, defense. Hey, man up.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Second and 12 at the 1-yard line.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on second and 12. To throw from his end zone. Connor. And his pass incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position.
On the double.
59, come on. Check, 59. Drop deep, drop deep.
Hey, Delta.
Mike's 59. Mike's 59.
Get it.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Hey, Alpha.
They'll throw on 2nd down his stick. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And he'll go down at the 28. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And the Panthers first down. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
54. Mike 54. Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there.
1st and 10, stick. Letting one go deep for the end zone. And he's got his man. It's Samuel. Touchdown, Carolina. Curtis Samuel, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. To throw on 2nd down. Connor escaping the pressure right. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. 3rd down here.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite-color jersey.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. A spin, runs through the contact. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here we go. 15 Lonnie. 15 Lonnie. You better bring it.
Trying to power it ahead with one. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. It's a first down following a gain of 3.
Panthers first down. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Mike, 54. I know he ain't got it.
Yo, go.
You got motion man right there.
Hey, orbit.
Mike, 54.
Hit it.
Stick looking to throw on 1st and 10. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
All right, T, let's go. All right, T.
Now a toss. This is McCaffrey. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 43.
Hey, exit.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
Check in.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Quit talking about it and bring it.
Hey, high 7.
54.
On 2nd down, it's Stick. Forced out to his left. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
Don't be mad. Don't be
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Hey, wahoo!
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4. Let's go. 54's Mike, 54's Mike. Check, watch 54. Now go.
Here's Stick looking to throw. And that's complete to McCaffrey. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'm not sure this is how they had it drawn out on paper, but this is going to work out for them and then some, right? They've got a big chunk they've got to pick up. They decide to check it down, and he just turns into a pure athlete and makes a huge play for them.
Hey, Charlie.
54.
5.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there, and if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle, keep coming after them, put the pressure on them.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
Hey, team 6. Team 6.
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4. I'm coming.
Shoot.
Stick back to pass. This is caught. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
This defense hasn't let them in yet. They'll need to stiffen here. 3rd and goal from the 2. On the ground, McCaffrey. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want a way to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 39-yard line.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
5.
Off the play fake. Connor. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes.
Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. No problem there on the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And you're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought.
They've got his man complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stick. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. The Panthers on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be third and forever.
Hey, Haywood!
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
Go!
Here's Stick, third and long. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now.
Intended for Curtis Samuel. Incomplete. Sets up fourth down.
Here's Michael Pilardi now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
A final shot before break. Connor. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So it's halftime here in Charlotte with the Panthers out on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And terrific field position here as they finally get him just shy of the midfield stripe.
That strong return has set them up nicely for this drive, and we all know the next score is going to have a major impact on this game.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it's third down.
Go now. 10 Lobo.
59. Check tight. Check tight.
Now.
Off play action. Connor. Going for the deep ball. He rifles one that's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it. And a great return as he takes us up just shy of the 45. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
Bravo.
Baby, that's a baby side.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down.
Let's go. Right there, 54.
A shotgun throw for Stick. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. Here's Michael Pilardi now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it, and they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
A gain of 29 yards. First down, Vikings.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A give to Cook out of the gun. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Operating from the gun. Counter. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 29-yard line. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the Panthers' 31-yard line.
Set, ready, 90, Wolf.
59. Watch the screen. Pass.
5.
Off the play fake. Counter. He lets this one fly toward the... And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Reed. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy for the defensive back to go get the football.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Let's go. 15, Lonnie. 59.
54. Watch 54. Get him. Get him. Get him.
Snap.
Stick from the gun. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he's going to be taken down about a yard shy of the first at the 29. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. Here's Michael Pilardi now. He's been terrific so far. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. On the NFL scoreboard, they are in the 3rd now in New Orleans. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
This will probably be the last play of the quarter. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, Connor. He sets the fire deep. It's caught inside the 25. Great start to the 2nd quarter. Better than 30 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
At the 20-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Check back, check back.
2nd and 9 now. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Point after, up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Ready? 10 Lobo.
Mike 5-4.
You must be dreaming. Go.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. I'm coming after you.
They go.
On 2nd and 15 now. Stick. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Danielle Hunter in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Stick looks to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. He's got him in. Complete. 20. Touchdown, Carolina. Terry Godwin, 76 yards. And the Panthers are going to jump back in front. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 20. Seven-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. There he goes, right side. And he takes it into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery and a touchdown for the Panthers. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
Now.
To throw again. Connor. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Brian Burns able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
On 4th down, counter. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. The Vikings unable to convert here on fourth. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone.
Here we go, here we go. 90, Wolf.
59. I'm here all day.
Hit it.
McCaffrey. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Smooth.
Right there. 54, right there. 54, Mike. All day, baby, all day.
Big grip.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
That's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd and 3.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away.
Hey, Zoo.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Get it.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. See, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
Ready.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. This quarterback now 9 of 17 through the air. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
2nd down and inches. Now a desperation throw deep down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's the guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
Mike 54. Check.
Let's go.
And they'll indeed take a knee. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I'll bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for Carolina, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers.